Hi, and welcome back. This is episode 216 of NooBTooB, a weekly independent podcast where we are continuing the best games of 2010 on every platform, every way imaginable, back and forth, from behind, doggy style.
That's right.
I'm Tobin Kazire.
And I'm Yuzo Watanabe. We have a bunch of big categories for you guys. Best current-gen game. I know you guys are all waiting for that. Best downloadable. Worst game.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yes, absolutely. So that's it.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Let's get to this action. So
Downloadable.
This is a broad category. It's any game that's not really it's like downloadable on the PS3, on the Xbox, or
WiiWare, PSN, Xbox Live Arcade,
and PC. I kind of like mentally include things that aren't like retail boxes. Like,
really?
Like a
interesting.
downloadable.
Okay, well, I didn't, but okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, okay, so so we have a bunch. There were actually a bunch that I wanted to do. So a bunch didn't make my top 3.
Yeah, there was good stuff. Like there was a lot of interesting things on downloadable this year.
Yeah, what didn't make your list this year?
I actually forgot to write down the ones that didn't make the list on this one.
There's a couple, like Limbo didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Cave Story.
Yeah, Cave Story
was on WiiWare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was actually really awesome. That was like this close.
Cave Story was impressive.
And Lara Croft didn't make my list either.
Wow.
So
wow.
So other things did.
Yeah.
But so why don't we start with your number 3? We should probably did I just list all 3 of your games? Because that would be
so my number 3 was
Limbo. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you like about Limbo?
So Limbo for me it was very much about atmosphere. The whole thing was
beautiful game.
I had never seen something like this before, where there was no conversation, there was no anything. It was just you're a kid thrown in a world, black and white. You see the silhouette, and it kind of feels like a kiddie game until the kid is torn to shreds, right? Like spiked by spiders and torn up by bear traps and like all these things. So
it's not even that graphic, right? Because graphic in terms
body
of
parts fly everywhere,
but it's like silhouette.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no blood, there's no whatever. It's just like it's amazing, like the start style.
And the big focus here is on puzzle solving, and they're not very helpful with it, right? I mean, like you go out and there'll be a box over here that you have to drag back and climb up into the trees, and the whole time it's just this beautiful atmospheric music, the drips of stuff from the trees, and like you'll actually have sound puzzles where you can kind of hear that there's a spider coming up. So it's one of those perfect games where you turn down the lights in the living room and you just kind of like fall into the experience of it. You really just let it kind of suck you in.
Yeah, I mean the art style of this game was impressive, right?
Yeah.
Especially considering like it was just like animations and silhouettes and all that. But like for me, one of the reasons why I didn't make my list was because it didn't. There wasn't enough set pieces for me. Like when I played that first level where you're running away from the spider and all that, I was just like riveted. If they made the rest of the game up to that level, totally would have made.
It definitely had up and down parts. I mean, like there was kind of like a lull, and then there'd be like a bunch of really cool stuff with like machine equipment and blades and all this stuff, and then it would go back down, and then there was this one level where you were fighting the levels of water. And that got very interesting, where it's like you would open gates and the water would equalize, and then you could kind of change it where the water would go back up and down. You'd have to like move the water throughout the whole level. So for me, I mean, I'm a puzzle whore, right? So it's just like this game figuring out your way through was a huge thing for me. So Limbo.
Yes, Limbo, great game. Just barely made my list.
Yeah.
My number 3. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX.
Of course.
So you're going to see a theme with downloadable games.
So that almost made my list. That was very close.
Because this is a score attack game, and they know how to do score attack, not as well as another game.
Right.
But they really, it just feels so good. Like seriously, I would sit there and I would play for hours and hours trying to beat everybody's score.
Yep.
I think in only one mode, I'm not the top right now. One or two.
I saw. Was it? Oh, that's a different game. There's been some battles back and forth on Twitter.
That was a different game, yeah.
There have been people. I really enjoy watching this because I haven't been getting as into the score attacks as you have. But I'm watching all the NooBTubers on Twitter and it'd be like, "Hey, bitch, guess what? I just beat your score and blah blah blah." And then like you'll just see like other people like, "Oh, fuck,
I know what I'm doing tonight."
Yeah.
And then seriously, that's what about like I am a score attack whore.
Yeah.
You're a puzzle whore for the most part. So like for me, anything that does that where I can just basically like totally whip up on a score and say like, "Fuck you, I just beat your score." Like, it's awesome. Because seriously, the moment you see the score get beat, you're like, oh yeah.
I know. You want to call them up. You're just like, it's 3 in the morning, like, guess what, bitch?
Actually, I don't do that. When I do that, like right when I do that, I'm like, go to Twitter.
Get on Twitter.
Hey, bitch, guess what just happened?
I love that Twitter is like basically a worldwide ride equivalent of like a party line.
Pretty
right? Like
much,
you just
yeah.
hop on there and just like, you know that somebody's waking up, like Gwinster's
Yep.
waking up in Amsterdam or something. He sees your tweet and it's just like, fuck.
And just have commentary. It's just
Yeah.
like freaking awesome. So that was my number 3. It was amazingly well done. I didn't think they could take, Pac-Man Championship Edition
Yeah.
and do it better because it was so perfect for the
Right.
most part, and they did.
But they did. I mean,
They did. It was just awesome.
I played the shit out of the game. I really
yeah.
enjoyed it. Like that. They
I don't
did
see
such
that high on my scores,
I
unfortunately.
didn't say I could beat you. I just said I played it and I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah, and it's one of those few games where seriously, like one of the things I love that they added to this game was that you can see who beat you and you
Yeah.
can watch the replay.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I think Dracomester or Locke or somebody did it, and I looked at the people, I'm like, fuck, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, right?
That's huge.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
about the
huge.
replay. That's a big deal.
So, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me.
So my number 2,
Yeah.
Laura Croft.
That's awesome.
You just called out my whole list.
But they almost made my
Yeah.
list. They almost.
Lara Croft.
Oh, so good.
So good. So we talked about this when we played it, but I mean they really just kind of went away from Tomb Raider in a way that still honors the franchise. There was a lot of very clever, a lot of the level exploration, and what I really liked about it is that there's this linear way through, but then there's always these little side things. Like there's side rooms with more treasure, and there's ways to go back and get all the gems on a level, or there's ways to do this or that. The combat was really nicely done. It's kind of like a twin stick shooter.
And that's what I thought. Like when I heard about Lara Croft, Lara Croft twin stick shooter, I'm like, what?
Yeah. What?
Huh?
What does that even mean?
But they make it work.
It does. I mean, because it looks like a Diablo. I mean,
absolutely.
and what I was kind of afraid of is that it'd be a Diablo clone. It is nothing like Diablo.
No.
I mean, like in the combat is maybe Diablo similar, but I mean, there's all sorts of stuff with your grappling hook and exploring levels and like these cool things where you're throwing spears to do triggers to open different parts of levels.
There's time attack modes, which
Yeah.
that thing really I started like, what? I got to beat that here, and I
Yeah.
can see how fast other people have done it. It's amazing.
And then every level will have 4 or 5 goals that you can get extra points. Like there's if you can get an achievement on this level by never touching the ground, by only leaping from pillar to pillar, and kill the spider without taking any damage, or these other things. I mean, it was a great way to reboot the Lara Croft franchise.
Yes.
And I honestly lately have been a huge fan of everything they've been doing. I mean, I loved the Underworld.
Yep.
I love this.
What do you think about the new reboot?
All we've seen is one picture. Like,
I don't know if I like the picture.
I don't know what to think. Like,
Really? Because she
I-
doesn't look like Lara Croft. She looks like she's young, right? Like
Yeah.
she's 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently so I've read about it, right? So
Really?
let me describe it.
She has a
okay?
backstory.
She has a backstory. So this was before she was an expert Tomb Raider. So when she dies, it's really gruesome. She's learning the ropes.
Yeah.
It's more like young
but
Lara
she's
Croft.
still an immortal, right? Like, it's still like,
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you restart, right, for the most part. But
Yeah.
but when you die, it's really gruesome. There's
Yeah.
all these other things. So it's supposed to be a different take on the whole thing. I like the idea of it.
I'll
I just
try
don't
it.
like the look of it.
yeah.
I guess is the
I couldn't
weird
tell
thing.
from that picture. I mean, she just looked like a tough ass chick, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Kinda hot.
But yeah, so Lara Croft, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Super Meat Boy.
Ah, yeah.
So this is one of those things where you talk about difficulty,
Yeah.
like Donkey Kong Country Returns. No.
No,
seriously,
Meat
no.
Boy
Like,
is
here's Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong Country Returns is hard. Here's Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy is stupid hard.
It's so hard.
It's so stupid hard.
Like
It's
when you talk
ridiculous.
about dying 50 times,
Yeah.
I die 500 times in some of these levels.
Yeah, I did too. Which is why I stopped playing that fucking thing, man.
But for me,
it makes me furious.
The 501st time
Yeah.
that I beat it.
No,
and
I understand
And then
that.
you see 500 of your Meat Boys all going to their death.
That was one of the
genius.
coolest innovations I've ever seen.
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way. Like you said, when you finish the level, you see every failure you've ever had. Like it's almost like you imagine what it would be like when you die and go to heaven or hell, and they're like, "Here is your life." It's like, here's every fucking stupid thing you ever did. And it's like, "Rah."
Pretty much. And you feel ashamed, but at the same time, you're like, wow. But I finally got you in the end.
finally
right?
got to the end.
And that to me is like one of the awesome aspects. It's just fast. It's just you can repeat yourself, repeat the levels immediately all over the place. The levels are insanely tricky.
Crazy tricky.
So they need dexterity, they need puzzle solving, they need everything. It's just
And there's lots of stuff with timing where it's like you'll run and then you'll set off a fuse and shit'll be going. You gotta be run back, whatever.
and you have momentum,
Yep.
so you have to kind of judge based off physics. So seriously, when you talk about pure platforming genius,
Yeah,
I even think these guys did a better job than Donkey Kong Country.
I disagree.
So I know, but I would consider it a
I
stronger
understand
platform.
yeah, I got the platforming genius. It just pissed me off. Like, it made me.
It was hard, but not if Donkey Kong Country was hard but not stupid hard, this was stupid hard for me.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause, I mean, and this was a lot more like this would be a lot closer to the reflex orientation of what was the twin stick shooter you like?
Geometry Wars.
Yeah, for me, it was a lot more like twitchy. Like you have to get every little movement perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas Donkey Kong Country,
you don't feel that way about Donkey Kong Country, even on some of the hard levels.
I mean, it's similar
really,
to
you
that.
have to chain a bunch of.
Yeah, but I mean, like a lot of it is just kind of more of figuring out how to do it as opposed to getting everything within millisecond.
Gotcha.
Timing.
So, and that to me, that's the thing. Like when I know my hands have the ability to pass this level, not my brain.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that feels awesome. So, good job, was it Meat Boy Industries or whatever? Amazing job.
Yes. And my number one is Minecraft.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I just for the record, I did not consider that a downloadable game.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, really. Because I mean, when I think downloadable game, I think like small things.
It is. It's one dude made some tiny little small thing, right? I mean, it's a Java client. It's not even compiled code, right? Like this is. I mean, would you consider anything on PC downloadable?
Would I consider anything?
Anything on PC downloadable?
I would have probably considered Flash games to be that, right? I would consider Flash games to be that, but I would not consider anything else.
Interesting.
Because, like, think about it, right? You can download StarCraft.
Yeah.
Technically. You can download full games. You can download Super Meat Boy.
I guess my thing is a downloadable game for me would be somebody who's not being distributed. Like it's not like you can't buy it through Amazon, you can't buy it through Steam, you can't buy it through like.
But you can buy all those other downloadable games through through Amazon. That you can buy. Like,
you can't get Minecraft though.
No, Minecraft, but you can get other XBLA games that consider all that, like WiiWare. It's weird. So, but I mean,
it's a tough thing because I wouldn't put it in current gen either, right? Like, where would Minecraft be?
I put it in current gen.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Sneak peek.
Okay, all right.
Sneak peek.
All right. So the point is that it's definitely an open question. I mean, it's a tough thing to say where things belong. But I mean, considering that I lump it in the same.
What do you consider the ball? Right? I mean, so you have to only get it from Steam or any of the games you can get from Steam.
Yeah, I still consider those retail. I guess I think of it for some reason in my brain, an indie game is a downloadable game. Like if it's some dude selling it off his own website and that's the only place you can get it.
So Super Meat Boy through Steam, which you can buy on the PC today, it is a downloadable game on XBLA because you can't buy it as a disc.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't know. This is hard.
Well, no, I totally agree with that. I think it's a thing, but
yeah. So
talk about Minecraft.
So in my opinion, I stuck Minecraft in my brain. It fits in that category, but I mean, Minecraft just lit my brain on fire. Like I apparently we're gonna be talking about it again.
Yeah. So I'll save my comments to a little bit later.
We can even actually we can just kind of wait and discuss it later. But I mean, for me, the really cool thing about it is I actually bought and set up a Minecraft server, and all my coworkers have been playing on it, and it's just one of those things where the logging in and seeing what someone else has created while you slept.
Yep.
Like just let's talk about it when we get to
we'll get to the details.
But yeah, so that's my number one.
So my number one, probably not too surprising.
Pinball
FX2. I would have not even considered this game unless somebody said, "Hey, I got this high score in here.
Right.
Why don't you check it out?"
Now that was Sunny and Locke, right?
Sunny and Locke.
I mean, we had a bunch of NooBTooBers that just can be like, Yuzo, play this. Yuzo, play this.
You
like,
really should try it. I'm just like, well, I like pinball, but I hated every single pinball game that I've ever played.
Right.
Like, no, this is good. I'm like, all right. Next thing I know, I am top of every single leaderboard. I had spent hours playing. Yeah. And this game, and really it all boils down to perfecting the art of score attack.
Right.
Right? Like they said, okay, the moment you have a score, you see exactly the next person's score that you can jump.
Yeah.
So they actually track not just your scores, but your previous scores, high scores, so you can see yourself beat that.
Yeah.
Other friends' scores, super scores of combined scores, all this other stuff.
That's so huge.
When you beat someone, you show their avatar being sad, right? While you get the crown.
I still think that's like the greatest thing ever is just that replay. Like we talked about this before, where I just wanted that to be sent to them as a movie. So like they open up their Xbox messages and it's just like and you're like dancing on the guy's back, and he's just like weeping openly.
Yeah, and not only that, at the very end of it, you can say send a message that you beat their score, and all you have to do is basically hit a button and then pick their name, and that's it. You don't have to type shit or anything.
So awesome, because it's taunt mode. It's taunting. It's openly taunting your friends.
It's genius. So
which is what gaming's all about. I mean, like, when you would sit in your room, like when I would have my buddies over, we're playing Super Nintendo, and we'd play Street Fighter 2 against each other.
Oh, yeah.
It was the most competitive thing I've ever done in my life. Like, when somebody would take down a guy that was on a 15-game streak, it was like they had killed Zeus.
Is that where you learned your Blanca moves for the most part?
I fucking rock at Blanca. Unstoppable.
Yes. But yeah, Pinball FX2, dudes, like, seriously, like the guys who Zen Studios who behind this, they are geniuses.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to copy them.
How are you doing right now?
So I am I beat Bankai Chu hit one of my Secrets of the Deep score by a lot, and I'm like, fuck. So I played for about 4 hours.
Yeah. You beat him?
So I had 26 million, and I had like 18.
Yeah.
I got 53 million.
Oh, shit!
I ruined him.
Oh, shit! Right. That's like you did him without lube.
Yeah, I was just like...
There was no lube at all. You just cornholed him.
Oh, yeah, I was just like, oh, I'll stop. I won't get any more points. But, no...
Did you seriously give him, like, a pity death?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, that's not you. That's not you, Zoe. Come on.
You think I would...
You just keep going. He's just like, I give up. You're like, snap. It doesn't matter. I'll just break your arm.
I was playing. I was like, 30 million. I'm like, well, I beat him. I was just like, I'll keep playing. 40 million. I'm just like, well, I'll keep playing. 53 million. I'm like...
I'm going to poop on his chest. This is going to be awesome. You're like, I just want to, like, I want you to turn your webcam on and then look at my score, right? It was like, I just want to see the look on your face.
Please record this.
Yes.
But he's still beating me, so I'm only not the top on Rome, which is one of the tables. He's beating me there. That's a hard table.
You.
I haven't seen the list, no.
Maybe, okay.
I haven't gotten an Xbox Live message saying anybody's been beating me. So
hop on and trash Yuzo.
Yeah, you better.
It's a fun game.
It's really awesome.
So that is the best downloadable games for the year. So next up is Worst Game.
Worst Game. This was actually pretty tough.
It was.
Yeah, so I know what didn't make my list.
What didn't make your list?
Dark Void did not make my list.
Yeah.
But that
yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the next one that didn't make my list because it might have made your list.
Okay. Yes. The one that didn't make my list. I don't know if this is gonna be yours or not, but so Lost Planet 2.
Oh, that didn't make my list. Did not make my list.
Okay, that was like Lost Planet 2.
Oh shit, that was terrible.
And I had this thing between me going back and forth between most disappointing and worst. But I think that for me, this like Lost Planet 2 kind of deserves in the worst category because it was disappointing, but it was just a terribly crafted game. Like it was a mess. It was a sloppy mess.
They just didn't figure it out. They were just like, okay, Lost Planet 1 was pretty interesting. You did some cool stuff, and let's just totally make it co-op and break everything.
Yeah, and it was all just these weird kind of mission-based things.
Yeah.
Like it was just
like, and you had bots, which kind of sucked.
All your teammates were just shitty bots. Like you never felt like any of your actions were important.
No, and you actually I think I read an interview with Shinji Mikami. I think he's one of the main guys at Capcom, and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with what happened with Lost Planet 2.
Oh, I wonder if he got like totally overridden.
Well, no. He's like, well, it was a U.S. studio who was building it, and he's like, yeah, I should have went over there and managed them a little better. And I'm just like, burn.
That's a burn.
So yeah, it was.
Speaking of shit like that coming out, how about what's his face saying that people are playing Epic Mickey wrong?
Warren Spector.
Warren Spector is just like, no, I
don't understand the camera.
No, all these game developers is like they don't understand. Like cameras are really hard, but we did a great job. It's like, if I noticed the camera, you didn't do a great job.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same thing that whatchamacallit did for Brutal Legend, right? Yeah. He was just like, no, you don't understand. Schaefer, you didn't understand the game.
Yeah, no, you guys are playing it wrong. If you're not enjoying it, you're playing it wrong. It's like incorrect assumption, sir. You have done that. If we didn't enjoy it, you made it wrong. that is the very nature of entertainment.
And it just boggles my mind that designers are still thinking that because they should always think about the user. They should always think about the player. And they're like, to make that assertion means that they know better. And that's bullshit.
And as an engineer, I understand the draw because there's so many times that some QA dude will come and he's just like, your code does this. I'm like, well, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what are you, a fucking idiot? Like, why would you don't do it the way I wrote it? It's like, no, it's still my fault. I mean, it's still my fault. If you can be that frustrated, it's my fault.
It's tough to admit, but you have to admit.
You got to admit it. You got to suck it up. Yes, that's worst game. Oh wait, sorry, no, we didn't do it yet.
No, we didn't. What was your number one?
Quantum Theory.
Oh, and we didn't even play the real game.
We didn't need to.
No.
Yeah, it is like if you were taking a video game class, like they should bring this demo up and then just put it in front of every person ever designing games. You're like, this is everything wrong. This is like literally you can't do a game worse than this.
Yeah, you can actually pick apart every single moment.
Yes.
Don't use a woman as a gun. If you do, right? If you do, don't make it so you have to pick her up to reload.
I kind of want a T-shirt that just says, "Don't use a woman as a gun. Use a Watanabe." It's just like,
seriously.
It was just fucking sloppy garbage all the way through. I mean, everything about it, like the character models were terrible. The AI was bad. All the combat was disgustingly stupid.
Oh yeah.
The throwing the girl was possibly the worst fight mechanic I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's just like, I seriously like. It's one of those things that everybody actually should experience at some point. You have to know the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You have to understand the lower limits of what games can get to
know
to
where
experience the best.
To experience the reaches of heaven, you have to see the lowest depths of hell.
Yeah, you can also have Dante's Inferno there somewhere too. But
Dante's Inferno was bad too.
But yeah, that game.
So let's get to some fun shit, man.
Please.
So that was the worst game. Current gen games, baby!
Yeah, this is it, dude!
So current gen is
shit.
PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. So this is kind of like everything. We call it current gen because this is all the things that are on the same level of horsepower. Like that is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of the main reasons we want to do this is because there's so many multi-platform games that you can't pick. Like sometimes you'll pick a PS. Like we used to have it by PS3, 360, PC, and it just didn't work.
No, it's hard.
Right. We had to like, I played BioShock on PS3 and I played Fallout on 360, so I'm gonna make it made the list dumb.
No, it's stupid. And you know, like you said, a lot of really big games are multi-platform, so there's no point in calling those out.
And we also don't have a best game of the year because this is pretty much the list. Right. We actually made a best game of the list, and it looked exactly like the best current games. So like, the top game here is going to be the top NooBTooB game. For
right, and I mean, you know, maybe like on the list would have made Super Mario Galaxy or something like that. But I mean, the point is there's no point. I mean, like sorry.
I think if Super Mario Galaxy made my list.
Yeah.
Maybe we would have a separate game section, right? But it was good. But
yeah. So let's do it, man. Let's do this.
So what didn't make your list, man?
We're
doing 5 games, by the way. Like, so since we're doing all 3.
Yeah. So what didn't make my list? So close was Darksiders.
Oh yeah, Darksiders was pretty close.
Darksiders
made my top 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if we did a top 10, there's a lot more games that'd be on there for me. I mean, like I actually very much enjoyed Splinter Cell Conviction.
Oh yeah, Dead Rising 2 for me.
Dead Rising 2.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, you know, Darksiders was just like this very excellent Zelda clone. Like it was a really, really well done, very fleshed out, great combat, great exploration.
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
There's more than 5 good games this year, right? There's a lot of really.
It was tough to call in order this. Like I put like Bayonetta. Was number 6 for me. Like it almost made the list, but there's better games.
Yeah, and I mean, and there were some games that like I really wanted to give kind of like an honorable mention or something to. I mean, like Heavy Rain was one of the most innovative and beautiful and clever and well-told games I've ever played.
I'll give you that.
And
for what it was the best at what it was.
Exactly,
absolutely, right?
exactly. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like I couldn't put it as my top 5, but I mean, Heavy Rain. If you haven't played it, you got to play it. I mean, it is.
And play it with the move mode controls. Maybe it'll be better.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know why you do that, but apparently, you know, some people do. And there's some games where it's like they were so awesome to a point. And then they were less awesome, like things like Mafia 2, where for me the first 15 hours I was absolutely riveted, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, that's too bad. So, what was your number?
Let's do it, baby.
What's your number 5, man?
My number 5, Kane and Lynch 2.
What?
Yep.
No way!
Absolutely. I told you this when we reviewed it. Like I thought it was phenomenal. I love Kane and Lynch 2.
Wow.
It was the closest I've ever felt in a game to being in like Blade Runner.
Dude, that's a level of like your Fear 2 thing from last year. I'm like, what? Really?
That's what I'm saying. Like I got more coming. I got more surprises coming. You're gonna shit your pants to hear some of these. But I mean, Kane and Lynch 2. You know, the grittiness of the storytelling and the immediacy of the gameplay, where it's like you are barreling through, you know, Shanghai hovels, and you know you are running in the streets bloody and naked, and you are just brutally killing people, and the camera following you, getting blood splatters on it. Yeah,
I love the art style of it for me, but like seriously, like the game mechanics and all that were like. I got tired of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But seriously, like the storytelling was amazing all the way through and all that for you?
Yeah, I mean, and it just got more and more and more epic all the way through. I mean, there's parts where it's like you're in a building, a helicopter crashes into the building, you're crouching in the helicopter, grabbing weapons out of it, fighting dudes inside the building. I mean, like I'm such a huge story gamer that this whole thing was like an awesome movie all the way through that I got to be part of, and it's very epic.
Wow, that's all right.
Kane Lynch 2, baby.
Kane Lynch 2, okay.
Yeah.
So my number 5?
Yeah.
BioShock 2.
Ah, yes.
So, there's very few games I like sit down and it draws me enough to finish them, right?
Yeah.
There are very few games, especially if they take like 10 hours and I have a kid now, it's just tough. BioShock 2 is just, I just fell in love with the world again, right? Yeah. And it's just like the world is good, the storytelling was good, all those little cool little things with what's his face? Remember, like all the dioramas that he was building?
All of the art on the inside was just, damn, what's his name? It doesn't matter.
I forget. It's
going to come back to us at some point in the thing. But but it's the Ayn Rand character.
Yeah.
Where he had built his city underneath the sea, and there was just so much brilliant storytelling.
It's not Atlas. Fuck. It's the other.
Yeah, Atlas was the.
Yeah, I know from the first one. God, what's the woman's name? You remember the woman's name?
No.
So anyhow, but yeah, no, BioShock 2, like, it wasn't just all that, right? What really sold me on the game was the whole idea of setting up traps.
Andrew Ryan.
Good!
Yes! Yay! Fuck you, Ryan!
All you guys who were just typing. All you guys who were typing, Andrew Ryan, dumbass! Don't type. Don't hit post.
Yeah,
you know they're doing it.
That's right. Oh man, there was a moment in one of our games or one of our episodes a little while back. We were trying to think of what Naughty Dog did, and I said Jack and Daxter, and you're like, I don't know. In the video, I actually put it was Jack and Daxter. God damn it!
That's hilarious. Wait, I don't like how you have control of the annotation.
I am the editor. I can do anything.
Unfair.
I can put a cock and balls on your face right now.
No,
write down the timestamp.
Stop it. All right, but yeah, so no, but
BioShock 2, awesome.
BioShock 2, yeah, it's like the whole thing about like setting traps, like where all of a sudden now you had your little sister around and you can like carrying her around, and then you had her go and harvest stuff. All of a sudden you knew 20 splicers were coming after you, maybe a Big Daddy, whatever. Yeah. Like I had to lay all my traps and all that, and they did that all throughout the game, and it was just awesome. Yeah. I love the feeling, this weird setup, and now that I see what like they're doing with the next BioShock.
Oh my god, I don't understand how anything that I saw was gameplay.
But it was all gameplay. Theoretically,
it was just so scripted. Like, I mean, it was just so perfect. It's just like if the game actually feels like the BioShock Infinite gameplay that we've seen, it's going to be the greatest thing ever made.
Yeah. So these guys, like, seriously, they are geniuses.
And that's 2013, right? 2012.
2012. It's not this year.
Yeah. So that was not on our anticipated list.
No, it would be though.
Yeah,
it would have made a list.
absolutely.
But yeah, BioShock 2, awesome.
Yeah.
Your number 4.
My number 4. Singularity. Yeah, how you like that? Singularity was the shit. Yeah, everybody forgot about Singularity. I'm bringing that shit back. You don't even remember what it was about.
It was about you're in Russia.
Yeah.
It was basically a BioShock copy.
BioShock and Portal and a couple other things, but it was.
Yeah, you finished that game too. I remember.
I couldn't stop. I loved it. Yeah,
wow, dude, you totally blew my fucking mind. Yeah. That was impressive.
I'm looking at. I do like my list is. I'm going to wait until the end to tell you what the pattern is here.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I know a bunch of games from Singularity. Wow.
No, I mean,
so what is it about? Yeah, something like
I was going back through these lists, and I was just trying to remember, like, which were the games that I had those experiences where, I would look at the clock and it'd be 1, I'd look at the clock, it'd be 3, and it was just one of those things where Singularity had this amazing step up in weapons where, you would get these different abilities in your time manipulation device, and you'd have this puzzle solving with time where, I think I told you about this before, where you were running crates forward and backwards in time to use them to open doors, and you would, be able to age people with your thing, and it was one of these things where they did such a great job adding puzzle solving into a third-person shooter, plus time devices, plus you could put somebody in a time bubble and shoot a bunch of bullets into it, and then the time bubble collapses and all the bullets just hit them at once. And you could level up all your weapons separately. You'd get new abilities for your time device. I mean, it was a very well-polished game, like all the way around, and the story was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. It was just like, wow, you got me, dude. You totally got me.
I live for those moments of surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it.
But I'm like, how could that possibly be in these games? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So my number 4.
Yeah, what's that? Minecraft.
So like, and that's the thing too, because I consider it a PC game because at some point
I see your point too.
Right? Like I understand like downloadable for other things, but if it's PC, like more stuff counts as a real game as opposed to not.
Yeah.
Right. But seriously, like. The thing about this game, right? It's just like it looks like shit.
Yep.
It's an alpha.
Yep.
You pay $10 for it, and there's no story.
Yep.
There's no RPG elements whatsoever.
No tutorial.
If I described, I was describing Minecraft to you, you're like, what?
Yep.
And then you played it.
No, it wasn't even that. I watched the movie.
Yes,
that was what sold me. I watched a 10-minute movie of some guy who's like, here's Minecraft. I'm like, God, everyone won't shut the fuck up about this game. And I watched it. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I watched the second one, watched the third one, watched the fourth one.
And he has like 40, 50
watched
videos.
Watched the 15th one, watched the 25th one. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because this guy took primitives. He took these tiny little primitives and just built the most elaborate possible thing. I mean, like
all randomly generated.
All randomly generated. And it's one dude. One dude!
I know, and I just heard how much they have been selling so far.
How much?
So revenue so far, $10 million. $10 million.
Good for him, man.
I know.
That is, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him for that.
Oh,
and the videos that have come out of it with people once they learned that you could use the red dust as if it was circuitry.
Oh my God!
Building their own
CPU.
Building their own CPU. I mean, building their own all these things. Just these Minecraft or minecart tracks that will actually have switches where you can go to different areas. I mean,
and it's like I agree with that aspect. Like the creation aspect is really interesting. You can set up your own server, which is amazing,
huge.
right? You can basically set up almost your own MMO style thing.
Yeah.
But like to me, what the genius behind this game was that with all the primitives that you're talking about, randomly generated stuff, he did something only the best games ever really do.
Yeah.
Right? When you talk about the best games where you are playing the game and you generate your own story from it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I played WoW, I played EverQuest, I played even some like first person shooters, right? I could go back and tell war stories.
Yeah.
Like with my friends, right? I'd be like, hey, remember that time, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
In this game, from the outset, I can tell you exactly what I did the first time. I built a hut out of dirt.
Yeah.
And then I found a place for a thing, and I couldn't put it. And it's just like, and you'd be riveted, right?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like,
because you know what that feels like. Because there's this whole thing where it's just like, and then the sun's going down, and you're running around. You're like, shit, I can't find any coal. I'm just gonna brick myself in a mud hut and wait for the sun to return.
And I heard this sound, and I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden, a huge explosion happened. Right?
I mean, just when you and I sat down and recorded me playing it for the first time, it's just funny. It's just so fun because the whole world is out there. It's almost as if being like, it's like being an explorer back in the Wild West.
Yep.
I mean, but you're infinitely powerful.
Yeah.
And everything just comes so easily.
Yeah, and you're gradually getting more powerful. You're like, oh wow, now I can make an oven or kiln and all this, and it's just like I can just tell this amazing story from nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like seriously, it's a bunch of blocks.
Yeah.
And only a few games can do that really well. So
I mean, and what was so cool is like there's these things that are still rare in the game. Where I was walked down, and one of my coworkers was playing it at work, and I went down, and I was just like, "You've got a diamond pick." Just like, yes.
He's been playing for a while.
Yeah, that shit is hard to get. So
you got to look for a cavern, and caverns are scary.
Yeah, they are.
Like you're putting torches everywhere because you don't have enough coal. It's like,
and he's continuously adding to it. I mean, he's doing all this stuff with the underworld.
Oh,
he's
wow.
doing all sorts of clever things with teleporting, and I mean, just
Jesus, this guy working?
Yeah, this is his full-time job. Why? I mean, why not? Right?
So.
This is.
I thought you were talking about your coworker.
Oh no. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying that like there's a constant feature addition to the game.
Well, he did the big thing at Halloween, right?
Yeah.
With the whole like teleportation system. So I believe it's going to be officially beta soon.
Yeah.
So where they're going to say basically, oh, here's the feature set, and then they're going to start polishing. And actually, the thing is, they're actually going to try to build somewhat of a game around it, right? Where you have like different things to do, different milestones. Because it's one of those things where if you can start putting some structure around getting that diamond pick, doing this, it's going to break through even more. Than
and it's already awesome. So it can't get anything but better.
Yeah.
So that was your 4?
That was my number 4.
Yeah.
It beat out a lot of good games, man.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
Yeah. So my number 3?
Yep.
Yakuza 3.
Wow. Yeah, that's not surprising.
Not surprising. So,
and I think I want you to know your number 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, it's probably going to be less surprising as we creep towards the top.
So Yakuza 3, why'd you like it so much? and why are you playing Uncharted 3 before Yakuza 4?
It'd still be one of those things where it's like even the day of I might just be like have it in my hand. I'm like, you win. I get you. I mean, Yakuza 3 is the most engrossing, elaborate, beautiful, detailed, interesting world that you will ever see. I mean, if you back in the day, if you played Shenmue, if you were into these kind of things where it's not run from point A to point B, it's not bring down this gang boss, it's just go around and talk to people and find out their stories, and this guy on the street needs help carrying ice cream to his wife, and this woman lost her daughter, and this guy, the Yakuza's holding his fish market hostage, and this other guy wants to get his tattoo finished, and you want to go fishing
for the big sushi for the sushi restaurant,
I mean, it's just, it's everything. I mean, it's
basically an MMO, but a single-player version of it, almost, right? Like, all the quests you do, like, they have that level of detail in WoW.
That's right.
Especially now, after Cataclysm.
And the reason why that appeals to me is, like we've always talked about, where I say I want my actions to affect the world, and it's like, this is it. I mean, you are coming up from nothing, and you're changing the landscape of Tokyo.
Yeah, or you're taking down gang bosses, or you're doing other stuff, or actually you're improving yourself, right? Like, there's all these things where, like, seriously, the number of things you can keep track of from a statistics, number of locker keys found, number of whatever. Like, to me, that's what was amazing about this game.
Yeah.
It's just
all of, like, every time you beat people up, you get experience points that you can spend on body and mind and soul and fighting and
better finishing moves.
Yeah.
It didn't make my list. It was like I missed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was in my top 10, but it's not my top 5.
I mean, Yakuza, I love it so very much. I mean, it's one of those things where you can just spend hours not even following the main storyline and then accidentally find yourself back on it again. I mean, you can just walk the streets and you hear the noises that you and I heard when we lived in Japan.
Oh, I know.
And it's just, the people talking and the music playing and the pachinko machines as you walk by. And
when you go to the convenience, you can see CC Lemon on the list of things you can buy as food. It's just
weird shit, like when you'll just see some girl talking to some guy and you pull out your camera and she whoops his ass and you get a picture of it, and that becomes a new move that you have. Like, oh, God.
It feels like a real world, right?
Yes.
Like you look at stuff like GTA or Red Dead Redemption, a bunch of other games, just like, they build a good world, but not to the level as this.
No, and you can feel the mechanics of those worlds a lot more, where it's like this world, it feels like if I turn it off, those people are still walking around. Like, it's that good.
Well, yeah, you go to one of the towns of Red Dead Redemption, it's just like, I want to go into every single one. Now, granted, you can't do that in Yakuza, but seriously, you can go into a lot of them.
Yeah.
Right? This one's a mahjong parlor. Yeah. This one's the weapon dealer.
And then you go in and you can play mahjong for 6 hours if you felt like it.
Actually, not in the U.S. version.
Yeah. But you can go play dice, and you can go play cards, you can play darts, you can play pool, you can play whatever.
Yeah, it's
batting cages.
Freaking, you can play. There's an entire golf game in Yakuza 3.
Bowling.
And bowling. Seriously,
it's like a meta game.
I wonder how many people they have building this game. Seriously,
I can't even imagine.
There's so much game in this game. It's too gamey.
So that is that. What's your number 3?
Vanquish.
Yeah, son!
Vanquish, my God. Very few games give me that sort of adrenaline, like Dead Space did it. Where I'm like, oh, I have to put it down and wait for a bit for the next round.
Yeah. Oh. Because you just get so fucking amped up, and there's 50 dudes fighting you, and you're slow-mo, and you're sliding on your knees, and you hop up on this other gun, and the guys kill that gun.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, it's just like so far. Like, if you talk about pure polish, pure everything like that. Like, remember we talked about like the kind of like the signature moves of games which everybody copies. Like, you have the Deadly Creatures Pounce.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the fucking Vanquish slide now. You're gonna see it everywhere.
I want it in everything. It's like when we play Super Mario Galaxy, I want Mario to be like,
fuck yeah!
Oh. Yeah, but Vanquish, and the thing that absolutely killed me about Vanquish is that beginning to end, every second was epic.
Oh, yeah.
There's no break. Like, that's why you had to put it down.
I know, because there's no pacing. There's no, like, slow area where you're, like, doing something, nothing for a little bit.
Because even if it's slow, it'll be something where it's like you're escorting a tank underground, and it's slow because you're gonna die, right? Like, so it's not like you're like, la, la, la. You're like, oh, God, when is the next floating brain gonna come out and explode?
With 20,000 things that are gonna come out, like, running mines that are gonna come after you. It's just...
Yeah.
So, like, I'm so excited because Bayonetta was an amazing game. Now they have Vanquish. They have the guys, the Platinum Studios. They have one more game on the list.
I can't wait.
What it is.
Have they even announced the title or anything?
It's gonna be next year. I have no idea.
Okay.
I think they did announce the title. I forgot what it was though.
I trust them now.
So I'm assuming they showed
proven themselves.
Oh yeah, these guys are geniuses. They know exactly what. But what did you show on your list already?
Okay. It's my number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can talk about.
So did we do my 3 already? Yeah. So that's my number 2 as well. So we can just combine those.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, Vanquish was one of those ones where I would get home from work every night, and it was just like, just play, and I'm just like, fuck, I have a meeting in 6 hours, or like I put it off, and then the next day I'm like thinking about it when I get home, like I'm gonna fucking play Vanquish. I can't wait.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's one of those games where everybody, like, if there's one game you got to play this year, Vanquish is one, because you will never play anything like it.
No,
anywhere else.
And it is like living in every action cartoon you've ever seen.
Every robot anime basically you've ever played. In, like, seriously, like I was thinking like when I was playing and I see that boss shooting all of those missiles at me, I just got brought back to being 8 years old watching Robotech.
Yep.
Right? Or Macross or whatever. Yep. And I was just like, this is so awesome.
And then you're like, I'm gonna whoop his ass.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, right now I'm gonna whoop his monkey ass, and like that is
yeah. So
awesome. Yeah, and that's my number 2. So what's your number 2?
Fallout New Vegas. Yeah. I'm sure that was not surprising
not
to
so
you
much
at
on my
all.
list.
So so Fallout New Vegas. Seriously, I've already put 40 hours in this game. I don't even think I'm halfway done yet.
Yeah.
I've been playing. Finally, now that we've gone through most of the games, I'm picking it back up.
So
again
have they
playing.
been patching this?
Yes, they have.
The biggest thing on the net has just been the instability of it. Like, people were just saying that it's buggy as shit. And have you noticed its stability?
Yeah, so they fixed a number of things, a few crashes and all that. But again, like, even then, like, the bugs didn't deter me from playing the game. Like, I didn't lose a lot of data because it saves constantly, right? So it's just like, it didn't really matter to me that much. But this game is just so in depth. It's just like, you look at Fallout 3 and you go Fallout 3, there's not much new technology.
Right.
But they added a lot of terms of storytelling. You now have all these companions who are pretty badass.
Yeah.
You get to make these. When you talk about decisions, you look at the decisions that you have in Epic Mickey, like, fuck that, right? No. Like, in Fallout 3, you can nuke a town or not nuke a town. Right. The other one is like, I can tell this old lady who got one of these guys' wife kidnapped and sold into slavery.
Right.
I can put a hat on her, so the husband of that woman can snipe and blow up the head. It's just like, seriously, like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like, the storytelling of this. So like, and to me, it's just like, it's too bad that some of the game mechanics kind of, shoot you away from it, because I totally understand, like, you don't have that pack rat mentality.
Right.
It gets kind of annoying.
I mean, but your stories about your pack ratting experiences just absolutely crack me up. Like, that is so funny. Like, how much
broken TV? I need that.
Yeah, every step. It's like Steve Martin in The Jerk, where he's like, I don't need you, but I need this remote control. But I don't need you. I need this remote control and this pin, but I don't need you. It's God.
And that's what it is. But like, the stories, the quest, there's so many different side quests you're doing. It feels like Yakuza to me in a lot of ways. But it has that added element of like more RPG aspects, which I really like about it.
Yeah,
so,
I always wished that it tickled me more. Like, that it just feels like there's like a piece of my brain that's missing that doesn't have the Fallout in it. And I don't know why.
I think it's because you have to pick up so much shit.
That might be it. Honest to God, it's like there's
like, you don't have a pack rat mentality.
I don't at all.
Yeah, and for me, it's just, I have it. It's just, it tickles this thing where I'm spending 80% of my time picking up shit. Actually, no, 80% of my time, like, no, I don't need that. Yeah, I need that. Every room I'm going into, is that a door I can open? Okay, I open. Take all. There's a button called Take All, and I'm hitting that button constantly.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's hilarious.
There's a fine line between you and a homeless dude.
Very fine line.
You're like, wait a minute, half-empty yogurt container. I could poop in this.
But only virtually. Only virtually.
Oh, God, that's funny.
So this game, So your number 1.
My number 1, Halo Reach.
Awesome! Mine too!
Yeah! All right, that's the end of the show. Good night, folks.
See ya.
What, it's not Halo Reach?
No, not for me.
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Of course. You talk so much amazing shit about this game.
Greatest game of the year. I just...
Yeah, it made my number 9, actually.
Number 9.
On the list.
Okay.
Like, even like Yakuza 3 I thought was better.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Really?
Seriously, I did.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that the pack rat mentality for you is this completionist element for me with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where it's just like, I had to level up all my assassins, I had to buy all the shops, I had to unlock all the art.
You never do that.
But there's something perfect about this world where it's like, I mean, for one thing, I love Europe. Like, I just absolutely love visiting Europe. I love exploring Europe, and to watch it kind of be rebuilt around me, and me being responsible for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, far and away, the greatest innovation of this game was the assassins. Was
really?
The Brotherhood.
It wasn't like a gimmicky thing at all.
Not at all. It basically it is the most badass weapon I've ever had, because a gun shoots people. And it's like you shoot people, but this is like having 9 of the most badass people in the world at your beck and call, where it's just like, and you don't even know how they're going to help you. And it's not like a finishing move. It's not like they come in and everything's lopsided and you're dropping an atom bomb. It's like there's 8 dudes. You're like, summon assassin. Dude rides by on a horse and throws down a smoke bomb. You go up and stab a dude in the back. You summon another assassin. He pops out of a fucking hay bale and slits a dude's throat. So it's like it's like co-op with the best AI I've ever played with.
But all you're doing is hitting a button of summon assassin.
Right. But I'm saying that like it doesn't take the skill out of it because I use them. Because they're co-oping with me, so I'm still playing the game, but it's like I bring in a friend, and they help me in a situation that would otherwise be unbeatable.
Interesting.
So I mean, it's just I loved every second of this game.
Well, the level of detail they put into this game, I mean, even more so because like Assassin's Creed 2, it looked amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, like they really even upped it up it another notch. I don't know if it's because we have a bunch of models and we're just going to add some textures, right? Like,
right.
No, it feels like I'm in Rome. It feels like I'm in wherever I am. The voice acting is amazing. It's just like you look at like how games should be made. Like,
yeah, and I mean, and what I really liked is that even more so, I felt this emotional bond with Ezio, where it's just like they would have these missions where the whole thing was just there would be a girl icon on the map. And you go to talk to her, I forget her name was like Elizabeth or Isabella, one of these things, and it would just be a flashback of your history with her. And it would be kind of like, but it was playable. It was playable. It'd be like, maybe she'd be with you when your family was killed and you'd have to take them down the docks before the guys burned them or whatever. I mean, it was like, they were less difficult, but more interesting story-wise. Where it kind
and because it wasn't a cutscene, it was an actual mission.
It's you playing his history, his flashbacks. I just thought that you take a sequel like this. I mean, this is the 3rd one in the series, and it could have just been a rehash, but they changed enough that it felt like a whole new game.
Yeah, and they added a huge multiplayer component. I didn't really get into it.
No, I didn't care about that.
But like seriously, the fact that you get that plus a fully fleshed single-player game for $60, it's like, can I pay you more?
And, and now let me tell you something that I am very proud of.
What's that?
This list, best next-gen list, I beat every one of them.
What? Interesting. You did a good theme. So here's my question though. I'm wondering if there are games you like better, but the fact you beat Kane and Lynch in Singularity, you set it to your list.
But here's the thing: is when I was going back, I was trying to say what makes a good game. Like what?
Yeah, but is finishing really it?
I couldn't stop playing, right?
Interesting.
So there might be a game where I would say, it was very technically impressive the way they did something in Mafia, or like I thought that this game was awesome that they did this, but I was like, but for me, I'm thinking that more and more a game that really is my best of the year is one where it's just like I was unsatisfied until I had defeated it, until I had like I couldn't pull myself away until.
So what's weird to me about that list then is that means anything that doesn't have a story or say an end will never make your list.
But I don't play those games anyway, right?
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's just like.
That is definitely like that is the kind of gamer I am. I mean, even if you look at the games that didn't make my list, like you can beat Darksiders, you can beat Mafia, you can beat Splinter Cell. I mean, like I don't.
But here's the thing that's interesting to me about that list. Then, like Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, I beat it.
No, I know you beat it.
Yeah,
but you didn't consider it a better game than Kane and Lynch and Singularity.
I mean, we'd already decided not to do the best of list, so I didn't have to make that battle in my head.
Oh, so you didn't even put it on.
I didn't do a best of list.
I see. Gotcha. Okay, but where would you have put that? I'm just curious.
So if we had done that, I would have said it was better than Singularity and Kane Lynch 2.
Okay, good.
So I would say it would be like my number 4 for the year if we had done a.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So like. Yeah, I'm just wondering if so Bayonetta you consider less of a game than those.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I mean that was I kind of.
Because you didn't finish it.
I didn't finish it. I mean, like I liked it. I thought it was awesome, but there came a point where I stopped.
Huh.
And it's just like.
I finished this other game. This one's so I liked it better. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't claim that for everything. It's not. I didn't beat every Wii game. I didn't beat every downloadable game.
But for the current gen
my current gen, those are the ones that I got my teeth into, and I never stopped until I beat them.
Interesting.
So yeah,
very good. And it's good too because Yakuza 3 you didn't finish, and then you had.
I went back.
Yeah, you went back to it.
And I went back, and that was a couple months ago where I was just like, why didn't I beat that? This doesn't make any sense. And we talked about this when I started playing again. I was like 5 minutes in. I'm like, how did I ever stop playing this? Like I don't know. Like I mean, you and I play so many games.
Yeah, I know.
That we sideline even the best games in the world.
And we have to.
And then, it's good to remember to go back and be like, this was a good game. We got to keep playing.
Yeah, like only those few. Like I'm still in the third act of Vanquish, which I loved. but instead I'm going back to finish Fallout.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have to. It's just like, that's one of the, like, that to me is like, that's why I consider it better than the game.
Dude, you got to beat Vanquish over the break.
I know. I'd love to, but I can't take my 360 with me. I'm traveling, so. No, the third act isn't going to take that long. I'll definitely get to it. But Fallout right now, to me, is the siren call right now. But mine...
Number one.
My number one? I don't think it'd be that surprising.
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2!
Yeah.
So this is the game that is decades in the making.
Yes.
Right? Or at least a decade in the making. When you look at what Blizzard
before they started StarCraft 1.
Oh, yeah. They're like, we better make StarCraft 2 at some point, so we'll get started.
Since 1970. It was like Space War and StarCraft 2.
A couple of Blizzard guys. Like, this game, like I played both the single player and the multiplayer a lot. I played multiplayer more in the beta.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at perfection in terms of an RTS. There is no better RTS, and there will probably never be a better RTS.
Till StarCraft 3
comes out, right? Or if Titan's an MMO RTS or whatever, right? Like, seriously, like, they spend so much time and effort on input, right? On the click.
Because they know.
Because they know how important it is.
Yeah.
Like, no other game has an entire country doing televised events around it, right?
And I've always found that interesting that there's something about Korea that's different than the gaming culture of like Japan, even though they're very close by and they're kind of like similar culturally. But it's weird that like one country just got its teeth into that.
Yeah, well, they made it into an esport where Japan doesn't really have an esport, right?
That's true. I mean, like sumo. That's an
esport. Yeah.
But I mean, like they do, I guess, pick things that are just culturally important,
or baseball or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, Europe has like Counter-Strike to some extent. US has like Halo, MLG stuff, things like that. But Japan, you're right. Japan doesn't really do that. But like StarCraft, like seriously, the single player campaign, they did so many interesting things I've never seen done in RTS before.
Really?
Lots of interesting. Well, I mean, they've done it in a couple ways, but like they have all the interesting escort missions.
Yeah.
They have go out at night, come back. Right, you can only attack things at night, and just like they do all this different timing where I was riveted. And you know me, like I'll play a game, and once I figure it out, I'll kind of be like, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I don't have this draw of finishing games like anywhere near. I figure out mechanics, and if the mechanics are complicated, it'll just take me longer.
Right.
StarCraft 2, I never felt that way, and I don't think I ever will feel.
Because it's like chess, right? I mean, it's not like you're ever like, I got chess figured out. No. Right? You're like, I know the moves. I could beat anybody. I got the mechanics. No. You never will.
No, because there's always somebody else, some Korean most likely, who's figuring out other moves. There's this whole active dexterity of APM, where you're managing. So you're constantly saying, okay, micro, macro. You got to figure all this stuff out.
Yep.
There's this huge battle net that they included with this game, so you can do all these ladders and this amazing stuff.
That is badass, by the way. I love that they build tournaments into the framework. That they can just come for free instead of people having to do bullshit on wikis or whatever.
Exactly. And you know that they have this amazing vision of now where they'll have people build maps and sell them through Battle.net.
Real? I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, well, it's coming out on that leaked list that I was saying, right? Like, and not only that, they have the Galaxy Editor, which is probably the best editor I have ever seen in my entire life. You making Tetris with supply depots, right? They built a Final Fantasy like freaking thing, right? Like, there's all these.
Well, you saw the Plants vs Zombies.
Well, they did that in World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong.
But yes, well, who knows? They might have done this. But and then you look at some of the add-ins that they did with the Galaxy Editor that they had at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So they had like Ire Chef, where you had a bunch of chefs and picking up random things. You had a Bejeweled clone, which you played Bejeweled, but then you had each thing you did gave you supplies, so you can then buy units to attack. And it was just like, oh my god! So essentially, like it's
like the Little Big Planet for Yuzo.
But no, I don't even care about any of that stuff, right? I just care about like you build a platform, you build a single player game, you build the best esport. Like no other company has the ability to craft this experience, and I'm sold. Well, seriously, best.
You and I have been playing World of Warcraft with some NooBTooBers lately, and it's become readily obvious that Blizzard basically understands human psychology more than any other company on the planet. Because I had no interest in playing much more World of Warcraft.
Like,
I'll pop in and see what it's like. And I'm playing this, and I was like, you guys are evil. Like, it's unbelievable the way that you put your hooks in me, where it's just like, I don't ever want to stop.
Yeah.
And I can see that in myself. And it's just like, they understand. I mean, I bet they hired psychologists.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they do. The psychologists are probably the quest designers, right? I mean, like, okay, so what kind of Pavlovian experience?
How can we make this stickier? How can we make this,
Let's make a ding, and then, whatever, right? But, like, what's interesting is, like, they even listen to, like, some of the core complaints that you had, where I'm playing an MMO, I hate it because I can't experience change in the world. And they're like, guess what? We'll do phasing.
Yep. And now there's quests that are they're very important to the state of the world.
Or you see like these chained quests where like, remember, like you're like, I just scared a bitch, right? And all of a sudden you see her later. It's just like, she's captured, and then later, and it's just like it's a story with cutscenes and
it's amazing.
So StarCraft 2. Amazing game of the year. It's my NooBTooB game of the year. Yours is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Blops on my ass, bro.
Blops on my ass. Blops doesn't show up.
Blops didn't make your list.
Remember all those people that were calling me Call of Duty
You're a fanboy.
Fanboy?
You're a fanboy.
It's good. No, especially after the patches, but
it
would probably made number 10 on my list.
Okay.
Probably total.
So this was a good year for next gen gaming, man.
I know, dude.
This is impressive.
But the thing is, not as good as the past couple of years.
You don't think?
Thought. No, because remember the past couple of years we were actually frazzled at how many good games we were playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, where we were like 2 would come out in a week, like that sort of thing. Like this one,
I feel like we had a couple weeks like that. I feel like we definitely did have periods where I'm just like, I don't know, I got 7 games to play.
I think I felt that early in the year.
Yeah.
Not so much in the late year.
So the thing is, if you look at my games of the year, a lot of them were near the end. So I think I got more frazzled than you because there was a lot of very good story games near the end of the year.
Yeah, true.
But good 2010.
All right, definitely.
Thank you guys for watching NooBTooB.
Yeah, appreciate it. And next week we have the Noob's Choice, so the ones that you chose.
That's right. The NooBTooB army speaks about what they think was the shit.
Let's see how it compares with our list.
That's right. We'll see if they were incorrect or correct. Yes.
All right. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
We're out.
Yeah.